I am on an emotional binge. I get very emotional about what's happening to our children and what they're doing in our country, and the emotionalism of the people of this nation are going to finally save it. I'm glad we're not rocks or stone with no emotions. I'm glad we got emotions.
I'm going to give Alabama good, clean, honest government. We're going to do away with the underground liquor agents. We're going to put everything on a competitive basis so people can't get rich selling asphalt to the state. We're going to take that money and plow it back into the education, into the help of our senior citizens, and to all of the things that's good and solid and sound.
It is our state that has started a trend back to this basic truth.
We've gone as far, LBJ, as we're going with you.
You showed on May 3rd that you like the type of state government that has been provided by the Wallace administration.
I want to give Alabama the best 4 years she's ever had, and I'm going to do it, and I need your prayers.
Other people who have been out of the state, they come back feeling
This is Jack Venable, WSFA TV News. The closing of the last ballot box and the last voting machine on Tuesday night will signal the end of one of the strangest elections in Alabama history. It's unique in two ways. First, Governor Wallace, prohibited from seeking a second term by the state constitution, runs his wife as a stand-in. The second unusual facet about this election is the fact that the Wallaces are having to run it all. For the first time since Reconstruction days, the Republican Party poses a threat to decades of Democratic domination of the state House. Alabama is experiencing for the first time two-party politics. During the next half hour, we'll review and examine this battle for political control of Alabama on Campaign 66.
And when I go out of this state and when I
Because the history of our country hinges today upon what the South does. If the South moves into the Republican Party and takes it and molds it and shapes it, then the South becomes the political power of this century. If we throw our vote away on a third-party system, then Johnson will be reelected and the South will not have the political power necessary to do what must be done. We don't want to secede from the Union, but we do want to secede from the party of Lyndon Johnson and Nicholas Katzenbach and Harold Howe and Hubert Humphrey and that whole group that has control of the United States today. And the way to do it is with a Republican South. And when I say Republican, I mean there are two parties in this country, only two. And Johnson will be defeated by a Republican or he'll be reelected. If you want to have a part in naming the Republican that will be the next president of the United States, you must join with us in the South who want to see Johnson defeated and move again into the Republican convention and give our power and our strength to nominating a good conservative Republican as the next president, one that will give us a golden key to the White House.
That your opponent is a woman running when the Constitution said her husband couldn't run, so he's running his wife as a substitute. Alabama doesn't need a substitute governor. Alabama needs a full-time governor, and I'm going to be that full-time governor. And Alabamians of today are worried about the subterfuge of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party in Washington and the Democrat Party in Montgomery. They're all tied up in one close package. What would a Republican South do? And what would a Republican Alabama do? Never has Alabama needed good, strong leadership more than she needs today. As this train was coming to a stop, I was reading the morning paper about a corporation that went into business just to sell copying machines to the state junior colleges that wouldn't work, high prices, and as soon as they sold them, they dissolved the corporation. Yesterday, I read about a book scandal in Tuscaloosa, where a book firm had folded and collapsed and bankrupt, and administration officials owned all the stock, and they were going to print certain school books for the state of Alabama. This means we've got more school book scandals. Not only did we lose $500,000 in that school book scandal in Birmingham, but we got another one in Tuscaloosa. How deep does it go?
Alabama has rejected the proposition that people exist for the benefit of the government and has reasserted the principle that government is a servant of the people. I feel sure that you are going to reaffirm that position on November the 8th. We are happy to be able to present to you a record by which you may judge. We stand on that record, and we promise that it will be continued during the next 4 years. Mere opposition is not a solution to the problems which have been directed at our state. My husband has fiercely opposed unwarranted and illegal encroachment on our rights, but he has done more than this. He has also conceived and developed a constructive program which has led to progress in all areas of state activity, and consequently to a better life and a better future for all Alabamians. The record is open for all to see. We're proud of it, and you indicated by your vote on May 3rd that you're proud of it.
We've had an open book administration. Of course, during the next few days rather, you're going to see the biggest propaganda, frantic campaign by some of the larger newspapers to defeat my wife as governor, because there's more in this race than the election of my wife. Every large newspaper in this country has written that this is a fateful election for both national parties. Alsop wrote Sunday before last in the Birmingham News that this election will be the greatest roadblock to Lyndon B. Johnson. That's a national columnist writing about Alabamians. And this is the first time in the history of Alabama that it has been written that Alabama is going to play such a large role in the next presidential election. But Holmes Alexander the other day, he wrote it. That was in the large papers. It was in the Birmingham Post-Herald, I believe. The Wall-Eyed Press in Montgomery didn't run it for 3 or 4 days. They tried to suppress it and keep it out because they don't want anything run by a national columnist that says anything good about us. Of course, they say bad in those columns, but still they did say we were playing a large part in national politics, and we are. Birmingham News, of course, and the Post-Herald makes fun of the governor of Alabama and the people of Alabama for participating in national politics. I again tell you, as I told you in April, they got an inferiority complex. They are ashamed of the people of our state. They feel like some of this outfit, like GROW, that Get Rid of Wallace outfit that organized in Atlanta. They don't think Alabamians, and some of them are here today, and we're glad to have you all here. We hope you might convince some of you not to get rid of Wallace. That's right. But don't pay much attention to them because they on the downhill swing, the GROW outfit is, and Get Rid of Wallace, they tried that. They tried that in the first primary, and they didn't get no further than first base. In fact, they didn't even get to first base. They got thrown out even at first base. But the Birmingham News and the Grow outfit says Alabama voted ignorantly. The Birmingham News wrote an editorial on May 4th, you voted ignorantly in Alabama, and you've got to sit down and straighten up on November 8th. Every time we don't vote like the Birmingham News and the Wall-Eyed Press in Montgomery thinks you ought to vote, they say you voted ignorantly. Well, our minds are as good as theirs.
We are showing the world that the free enterprise system is still the best system, that progress can be made by individuals and by states without submitting to centralized control. This pride has spread throughout the nation. Millions of people have been awakened to reality by the firm stand of the people of Alabama.
Well, I think they know that they're just trying to deceive the people with a smokescreen of trying to pretend that states' rights are being taken away, when they know very well that states' rights are not being taken away, that the state itself has the right to work up the program whereby these monies shall be spent, and the governor has the veto power in most cases. And all we're asked is that we not waste the money and not use it for a favored few. And they know that we cannot survive without this help. We get $1.80 back for every dollar we pay in taxes, and we barely survive and stay 48th in everything with that money. So how can we expect to prosper and move forward if we don't continue to get this and also to help ourselves at the same time? I think Alabama stands very, very low with the national image. We hear that the world looks to Alabama for leadership. I'll agree with that. They look for leadership, but they have not seen any, and they're looking for a different brand of what we've had. And certainly, if I get elected, we'll show them some leadership and a big step forward where we can get industry and jobs and good education, waterways, and the kind of things that the people of this state must have in order to prosper.
We've carried on just like he has asked us to. His supporters have helped more than ever. His campaign manager flies or is with me wherever we have gone, and things have worked out very nicely without him. Mm-hmm.
If it's cold out here, Rick, we have to go inside.
Just told it. Everybody's so happy to have you here.
Well, it's good to be here. Isn't it a beautiful day?
Well, it is. It's wonderful.
Record is there. I'm willing for people to look at it. I don't claim that I've been perfect. I don't think anybody could be perfect. But I do believe that I have voted in a way that was best for the state of Alabama. It seems to me that my opposition is running on a basis of criticism and negativism. I have been making my campaign on the basis of my record of 30 years service in Congress, 20 years in the Senate, and 10 years in the House, and of a positive program of accomplishment during that time. I've been assuring the people that I would continue in the future, just as I have in the past, to work for those things that I decided, in my best judgment, were best for Alabama. Well, the biggest problem has been trying to campaign down here while continuing to work in Washington while Congress was in session. Of course, that's changed now because Congress has adjourned. But throughout the year, I have been coming to Alabama practically every weekend, almost every weekend, and spending 2, 3, sometimes 4 days, and the rest of the week spent in Washington during my job there. That was pretty. It was pretty rugged going.
And the National Democrat Junior Senator carry the message of our dedication to the Constitution when not once but twice in the last 6 months your National Democrat Senator voted to integrate the neighborhoods and the neighborhood schools of Alabama and of America. And I say, is that how you, the people of Alabama, would vote in the United States Senate? You call it rent subsidy, and you call it demonstration cities bill, and he's right in the hip pocket of Lyndon Johnson. Your National Democrat senators got the brand of Lyndon Johnson from head to foot, and no matter what you call those bills, it all comes out to the same thing. He rubber-stamped Lyndon Johnson, and he forever betrayed the people of Alabama when he voted to integrate the neighborhoods of this nation. And I say those 2 votes should retire him from public service permanently on November the 8th.
My intention, if I'm elected to the United States Senate, I intend to work actively, aggressively, and in every way I can to try to get Governor Wallace elected president in 1968. Of course, you know I'm on the campaigning on the third Party for America ballot, and we hope that Governor Wallace will use that same ballot in 1968. He has said repeatedly throughout Alabama that he will run on a third party ballot, and I'm on that ballot now. Now, if I can get elected to the United States Senate,
obviously, it would be a terrific asset to him in having somebody on the Senate floor in the halls of Congress there to promote his interests and the interests of the people of Alabama. And certainly I'm doing this because I think the interests that he has expressed in the Constitution and in the welfare of this country are the things that the people are interested in this campaign. And I think the people of this state want to see him in Washington and want to make that change, and I will certainly work toward it. That is the major issue that I have in my campaign.
Running under a minority party ticket, what do you think your chances actually are?
Well, my chances are excellent at this time because actually with Senator Sparkman fighting Governor Wallace, I should get more Democratic votes than Senator Sparkman. And with Grenier fighting Martin, well, I should get more Republican votes than Grenier. And being an independent, well, certainly I should get a lot of independent votes. So if you add them all up, I should get a terrific vote, and I believe I will. The response I've gotten over this state, I believe I'll get a terrific vote.
What do you expect the percentage to be?
Well, I haven't thought of any percentage, but if I can get one more than either one of the others, I'll be satisfied. And actually, this is an unconstitutional war, because only Congress can declare war. We're over there having our boys hack their way through the jungles with a machete, when we've got an arsenal of weapons here we could blow that country off the map with, and it just doesn't make sense. And I think that, the people of this country and this state are due some explanation of it. We should get our boys out of Vietnam. We should tell the government of South Vietnam that we're going to turn the responsibility of war, the responsibility of peace, and the responsibility of government over to them and let them make their own peace and have their own responsibility of government with their fellow countrymen.
For all intents and purposes, the campaign is ended. Few elections have been won or lost in a single day. It remains now for the voters to decide who will win and who will lose. Whatever the outcome, it will have a tremendous effect on the future of Alabama, at least for the next 4 years. And for the past 9 months, Campaign 66 has been one of the most colorful and exciting in Alabama's history. This is Jack Venable, WSFA TV News.
Feeling ashamed of